cares what a woman thinks? Don't listen to these style gurus. Wear whatever you want to wear. Just be yourself. Wear whatever you want. Now, in theory, that sounds good, but look around. What's the reality? Nobody is heeding this advice. In fact, most men who think that they are being themselves and just wearing running shoes, jeans, a t-shirt, and a cap, and maybe a hoodie, well, guess what? You are caught in a fashion trend. Because yeah, look around. Everyone is wearing the same thing. I mean, seriously, if you really wanted to dress for yourself, wouldn't you wear something cooler than what you're wearing right now? I don't know, maybe dress up as a samurai. What about wearing a cloak or a cape? Maybe dress up as Gambit, Wolverine, Deadpool, or Spider-Man. The reality, gents, is being yourself is some of the worst style advice you'll ever hear, especially if you want to look good, if you want to look put together, even on lazy days. So the first tip to always look and put together is to know yourself. And this is very different than just to be yourself. So for a man to know himself, philosophically speaking, that could take a lifetime to master. Since we don't have that type of time, I'm going to break it down in just a few parts that you can pretty much master in a few minutes. First up, know your measurements and know your body type. What I love about this part about knowing yourself is it's pretty straightforward, and when you have this information, it is so much easier to buy clothing that actually fits and works with your body. Now, skin measurements are best, but if you've got some great fitted clothing, you can measure them as well. But what's key here is you're collecting non-subjective information that you can use to more accurately find pieces of clothing that fit you. Now, the reason your body type matters, and as you can see, there's a variety of different body types out there, is that you want to be looking for clothing styles that accentuate your natural strengths and downplay your weaknesses. So if you've got weight around the midsection and sloping shoulders, you want to build up those shoulders with a jacket, because this piece of clothing, this style, is always going to suit your body type and make you look better. Tall, skinny guys want to avoid clothing that makes them look lanky. Short, stout men that maybe spend a lot of time in the gym want to avoid clothing that's too baggy, that's going to make them look square, that's going to make them look even smaller. It's going to make them look like they're wearing clothing that's 2 sizes too large. And let's get into color. Now, in general, I think that most guys can pull off most colors, but there are going to be certain colors that work really well for your skin tone. In fact, I would argue that you know what many of these colors are because you've received compliments over your lifetime when you wear these colors. I know for me, it is this shade of green. It's just something I gravitate towards. I also like rich browns when it comes to footwear. Notice these earth tones work with my natural complexion. Another easy one is to pay attention to your eye color and your hair color. For me, brown and brown. So that's one of the colors I gravitate towards. Some of you guys have blue eyes, maybe gray eyes, maybe even green eyes. In that case, make sure to mimic the color in your wardrobe. That's one of the most powerful things you can do to actually draw more attention to the eyes, because it's going to make your eye color stand out. Now, some of you guys may be thinking, well, Antonio, it's easy to look put together when you're in shape. Yeah, if you've got a fit body, I mean, you can put anything on and look good. Well, straight up, gents, I'm not going to deny it. That's a fact. If you take care of your body, you are going to look better in anything you put on. But the reality is you got to dress for the body you have today. That being said, gents, if you want to start taking steps in the right direction to becoming healthier, guys, it starts with the food you put into your body. And that's why, gents, I'm proud to bring you today's sponsor, Factor. Gents, I've talked about Factor before, and what I love about these guys is they make it so easy to meet your nutritional goals. Factor does this by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals right to your doorstep. They've got a whole team of gourmet chefs that create these meals that use only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. And gents, as a guy that has eaten tons of these meals, I've fed them to my family. Everybody loves them. They're tasty, healthy, and incredibly easy to prepare. All these meals can be heated up in 2 minutes. Now, me personally, I love variety, and that's what I love when I go over to their website. There are tons and tons of options. So if you want something with more protein, they got you covered. Oh, and on top of that, if you're looking for cold pressed juices, you're looking for shakes, you're looking for smoothies that taste great and are super clear about all the ingredients, all the calories, all the vitamins and nutrients. Gents, for all this, check out Factor. I'm linking to them down in the description of today's video with the best deal you're going to find on the web. Just head over to factor75.com and use that discount code RMRS50 for 50% off your first box. Gents, if you're a busy guy on the go, remember you can't outrun a bad diet. So change the food you're putting into your body. Factor makes it easy to eat healthy. Again, use that link in the description of today's video and that code RMRS50 to get 50% off your first box over at Factor. So the next step to level up your style, even on lazy days, is to upgrade your footwear. The reality is most guys are wearing stained, dirty shoes they haven't put any thought into. Now, I'm not talking about the guy that works a blue-collar job that's wearing steel toes to protect his feet. No, I'm talking about the guy that's wearing running shoes when he's not out running, he's just out running errands because that's his default footwear. So an immediate step up here is a clean pair of simple sneakers. Now, you can go with canvas. I personally like leather, and there are tons of options. You go with the simple white, you can go with white with a stripe, maybe go with a pair of browns or even a pair of black sneakers. Now, do you need to wear something with a fancy design? Well, if you're a little bit more fashion forward, if you're into this thing, why not? My point here is you can still be comfortable and you can look good. They're not mutually exclusive. Now, what if you want to take this to the next level? You want something a little bit dressier? Then look at a pair of slip-on loafers. Again, you want a clean, simple, classic design, something you're going to be able to wear and get your miles out of. That being said, if you want to have a little bit of fun, maybe go with a little bit bolder of a color, something that still complements the clothing in your wardrobe, but is going to stand out because of that color or the shade or even a little bit of contrast. As you can see with this pair of shoes right here, we've got the suede mixed in with the leather, and that contrast right there in the shoe grabs attention. These are the type of shoes right here you can wear with a simple dressed up outfit, and the shoes themselves are going to become the centerpiece. But if that's too much, you want something a little bit more muted, then look to just change up the material of the shoe entirely. Suede is really underutilized in men's footwear, and with this simple style here, this simple pair of blue shoes, you wear this with a blue suit, it's going to look amazing. But the easiest win for so many of you guys is going to be to start wearing a good looking pair of boots. Now, you don't have to go with this gray right here, but I like it because it stands out from the crowd. It's going to match pretty much anything in your wardrobe. But if you want something a little bit dressier, maybe go with a brogue, go with more of a dress boot look. This one in a beautiful dark brown. Or if you want something simple and no-brainer, everyday wear, look at a pair of slip-on Chelseas. This one right here in a gray suede. And that's because gray is a non-color, pretty much matches anything, but it's still a relatively unused color in footwear in general. So the next tip to looking good without trying is to raid your grandfather's closet. To be specific, we're talking about his accessories and of course get his permission, or if he's not around anymore, think about what is something that would have looked timeless 30, 40, 50 years ago. It's these type of minimalist, timeless accessories that you can invest good money into and you can wear again and again for the next decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 50 years from now, you'll be able to pull this item off. Now, the easiest accessory here is a timeless watch. And straight up, gents, you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, but you do need to know yourself. You need to know what type of watch are you actually going to wear, what's something that fits the proportions of your wrist. And in my opinion, you should go with something that's mechanical. Now, you can go with the quartz. I'm not going to knock you there, but try to avoid the Apple watches. I know a lot of people are wearing them, but they haven't reached, what I'm looking for is something that's reached the apex of its design. What I mean by that is mechanical watches, they're not going to improve that much. Yes, there are, Grand Seiko's making some improvements, but in general, what you buy now, you can spend some money on, and you don't have to worry about it being hopelessly outdated in a decade. So again, if you're going to be spending good money here, this allows you to buy something to splurge a little bit and get something that looks great, looks amazing, and could become a family heirloom. Now, other timeless accessories are going to be jewelry. So if you're married, a lot of you guys have a wedding ring. If maybe you're not, maybe you wear a ring. I know I wear an Oura ring. It's kind of a form of jewelry. This right here is a smart wearable. Some of you guys are going to get in the necklaces. Look at your history. Understand, hey, what's your heritage? Were necklaces worn? Because necklaces have been worn by men for thousands of years. So can you find something that has historical meaning to you, maybe to your family? Maybe it's just something you personally like. You like the look of that chain. That gold works really well with your skin. That silver works really well with your skin. And by the way, if you're trying to decide between gold and silver, don't be afraid to actually get a combination of both. I really like that. But in general, gold's going to be for warmer toned individuals. Silver is going to be for cooler toned individuals. Me, I'm more of a cooler toned individual, but like I said, I like to wear jewelry that actually has both gold and silver in it. Another accessory worth mentioning is a great pair of sunglasses, 3 classic styles. You want to look at aviators, wayfarers, or clubmasters. Aviators are going to work with the widest variety of face shapes, but if you really want to stand out, look at a pair of wayfarers because they're going to have the strongest frames. They're going to probably grab the most attention. Me personally, I love clubmasters because I see so few people wearing them, and I just think they make me stand out. So the next tip to always look and put together is to be proactive versus reactive. Specifically, I'm talking about grooming here. So we're talking about your haircut, we're talking about your nails, your nose hair. All these little things should have a schedule. Every Sunday, I know I cut my nails, I clean my nose hair, I take care of these things that if I don't take care of them. If I react because I've got a video or I've got an interview or I'm going to be going and giving a presentation, all of a sudden I'm throwing in the chance that I could forget, that I could fall behind, that I would realize I'm getting in front of that stage and I haven't properly groomed. And yes, no one's probably going to notice my nails, but I notice, and that has an effect on how I see myself. The same thing with something as simple as a haircut. Most stylists or barbers, you could actually schedule well in advance the time that you're going to go get your haircut. You want to do this because you want to have a routine. You don't want to be reactive to, yes, you got that big presentation in front of your boss's boss and you realize, hey, my hair is not looking great. So because you're in a hurry, you go and you get that haircut from someone who has never given you a haircut. And yeah, all of a sudden you get a cut that you are not happy with. Again, if you always want to look put together, if you want to make it effortless, your style, then it's about having the things done and scheduled that are within your control. Next up, let's talk about standards. You need to have them. I know for me, when I go out, there's a certain standard in which I dress. All my clothing that is stained, all my clothing that has holes in it gets to the back of the closet, keep it in a box. And yes, when I'm painting the house, when I'm doing work around the house, that's the clothing I wear. But going out and meeting people, driving my daughters around town, because that's what I am nowadays, a taxi that gets my daughters to ballet, to ice skating. I have a standard to the way I dress. And that's the key, gents. You've got to have your own standard, your own internal measurement of what is acceptable for you and what is not. Because the reality is, in today's day and age, you can wear pretty much anything out there. You can wear pajamas to the grocery store. I see it all the time. But is that the message you want to send the world? How do you want to be remembered? What do you want as your reputation? So the other day at the ballet studio, I'm talking with another parent, and she actually brought up that a friend of hers was one of my daughter's teachers back in school, and she remembered my daughter, and she remembered me coming to the class. You're like, he was so well dressed. He actually gave us a quick lesson, and I just remember how well put together and what such a fine family that you guys have. Now, it was an offhand comment, and who really cares about what other people think about you, except reputation and how people perceive you does have an effect on how they treat you, what opportunities come your way, not just you, but also your family and those around you. The point is, gentlemen, if you understand that, why not use it to your advantage? And if you can present to the world your best self, why wouldn't you? And with that being said, gents, I've got another video for you right here. Boom, yeah, go check it out. Solid video right here. If you enjoyed today's video, you are going to love this one. Boom, right there. Oh yeah, come on, check it out. Good stuff right there. Boom.